So as promised in that last video I did of the TMU tools, if you haven't seen that, check it out. And I did say that I was going to be doing a few videos what mixing it up from wood turning, just normal woodwork really, and anything to do with tools like this type of video, or even the till reviews. If you do like and subscribe to my channel, it does help it grow, and put notifications and comment below anything you want me to try and make. Obviously with resin, I try and do a little bit with resin, so I'm not an expert by all means. I like to try different things and learn on the way, and hopefully share it with you guys. As you can see, there's quite a bit of bob there, obviously because it's not shaped, so just got to be really careful. Okay, so you see there we haven't really, it's not flat by any means, so I've got it into a rough shape where I want it to be. So this is going to be the bottom. I'm going to put like a tenon on the bottom, and then we're going to put like a base, take it in there, then we're going to have a shallow bowl at the top, so it's a bit like I think it's called a goblet, but I just thought it'd be a nice decorative piece. And I wasn't quite sure what to make with this wood, but I think that'll finish nicely. Move as I can. Now I'm going to move the tool rest out of the way, because obviously it was only there really to give it a little bit of support. So first what we need to do is tidy this edge, because it might not be 100% flat to the tool. I'm going to make a tenon there. So in previous videos I've shown you, I've got these made up, so if you haven't seen these before, basically that's a measurement of the inner and outer diameter of my Versalilk 50mm dovetail. Most manufacturers will tell you the diameters, and all I do, I measure it on here, and when I'm making my tenons it tells me the size I need to be, so I'm not making one too small or too big. So you can see there I've got a shallow tenon there, so you see the blue inner diameter there. I want that to be just on the cusp there, so when I put my work onto the chuck itself, it'll grip nicely. You don't need it too deep, you just need it deep enough to grip the woodwork. I mean, if you do go deep, you can put it on the mega jaws when you flip it over. So for now, what we need to do is make like a base. So I need a base, and I'm going to make it about, I don't know, 10mm thick all the way around, then we'll curve it in, so we'll scoop out, and then when we've got that to a nice shape and a nice finish here, because there's still some edges here, we'll spin it back over. So I've only been doing wood turning really since May. It was something I weren't really interested in originally, and I bought a smaller lathe, the DML305, nice little hobby lathe. It's second one up in Record Power's range, and I just thought I'd give it a go. Now, if you want to see other videos as well, like I say, I'm mixing it up, I'm not just doing wood turning. I think if you just stay with one thing, it just gets a little bit boring. You can see here it's coming along already, so we're getting a shape what we want it to be. So don't get me wrong, there's still a little bit of chip in there, but to say I haven't really done no sanding yet, it is starting to look quite nice. So like I say, this bottom base is going to be smaller than the top. I still want to take some out there, then we're going to come up here, probably put a little rounded edge on the top, and then we're going to flip it around and bowl it out. The other thing as well, if you are wanting to get into wood turning, obviously there's clubs about. I don't go to a club. There's lots of stuff on YouTube, and a lot of the stuff I learned is from YouTube and talking to people and just having a go really. But there is a woodworking show, Midlands Woodworking Show. I think it's in March. Record Power's there, Hope Woodturning's there. You can see there I just got a little catch. You're going to get little catches, obviously. Ideally you want this as close as possible, but I'm quite far away because I'm really trying to gain that edge, so what I'm going to try and do is just do that there. Just bring it close enough. The closer you've got this tool to the the wood, safer it is. What a lot of people say is ride the bevel. What they mean by ride the bevel is ride that part there. So put that on the wood first, then bring your tool in and make sure it's always in place with this here. So you can see I've gone a little bit deeper. I didn't use the spindle gouge for that one, so I used this 1/2 inch skew. It's designed for really fine detail stuff, so I managed to get really close inside there, so just enough to the maximum without catching it on both sides. I think I'm just going to tidy this edge up now and come up here and just work on this part a little bit. I'm not quite sure whether I just want to put a bit of a curve in there, but we'll see. I'm pretty happy with that so far. So what I'm going to do now, just tidy this bottom up here. He's got a few feathers. Just sand it and we'll flip it over. Okay, so we've got it to the sort of shape we want. There's still a little bit of finishing to be done, but we can sort that when it's on the back side of the wood. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take it off the tenant. Now, obviously I've shown you that I measured that part there. There's another trick, because in the past I've messed up before. I've took it off the chuck itself, taken the faceplate off. And once I've taken the faceplate off, tried it and found out I haven't done the right size. Then once I've messed it about and put it all back together, I found out it's too late. Then obviously you re-putting that there, you can never get it exactly how you want it. So by doing this way, you got the right size. So we've got the goblet as such up to yet, so what we need to do is take that part out there. We've took the faceplate off the front, we're going to mount it on here. So now it's mounted on there, you'll notice with this it's over the bed here. I've shown you before, but we'll show you again for new people that haven't watched it before. This has got a turning headstock. There's lots of machines out there what do it, and I'd recommend if you're getting one, get one with a turning headstock. My first one didn't have one. I believe the new DML305 has got one, I might be wrong. It's definitely got variable speed. My original one didn't. Just had you could just change the RPM on the belt. But this just makes it so much easier. So I'm working front on. So you can see there, it is actually front on. You can see the bed. So I can just get right into it a lot easier. So for now, what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of the spindle gouges. Go into this bull gouge. It is an old Record Power one. You'll notice this shaft's a lot longer, but it just gives you that bit more force on it. I have got carbine tools and I do like working with carbine tools, but there's a time and a place. So what we'll do is just working from outside. So in the last video as well, I did show you some tools I did buy for wood turning from Temium, and they were mainly measuring tools, and one of the things was this here. So if you didn't see it, it was about £2.70, something like that, and it's just a depth measure. You could use a ruler and put a piece of wood across it, but all this is for so I can see the depth of something. So what I'm going to do is still get a ruler. Important for when you're turning that you don't go too deep, because I've done it before and you come out of the bottom of the piece. You're not really on this sort of piece of work because obviously you've got the sprout on it, but what that does, it shows me there I'm just under 40 centimeters deep from the top to the bottom. And what you can do there then, obviously you've got the edge, you can put it there. So by there I can see that I've got plenty of room to take out. So looking at that, I probably could take another centimetre out in the middle. I'd probably go deeper in the middle if I wanted to. But I think if I went any more than a centimetre, if I was keeping on this projection, I'd probably go through the bottom. So it is really good to have, because when I first started turning, I did start going through the bottom, and you put all this effort into it, and by the end of it, you destroy it. So you'll notice that I'm covered in dust. I have got my AC400 on, so it's like a cleaning system, tries to get some of the particles out. Ideally you want to do it on a dust mask. Every mask I've tried I end up fogging up in my glasses, so if there's a mask that you guys use, let me know in the description if it's available in UK. I'm definitely willing to try, because I bought all sorts. I bought the trend ones, I tend to put on for sanding. I also have a Canvac system as well, but I normally use it, but obviously for doing a video it's very loud. So we sort of got this here, we still need to take a little bit of the edge off there. This here, it's okay, I'm not sure, 100% sure what to do with this edge here. Don't know whether to round it or whatever. I might put a little bit of round on, because obviously this part here is rounded, so we'll just get the small spindle gouge again, just take the edge off. Right, so now that's done, we're going to just get some 180 grit, just sand it. These are a great thing to have, these are bowl gouges, you've got the adjustment head. I did make my own there with a bearing, which you can just put different attachments on, so you can use different grits. You want to use a bearing with it, or some sort, just so it spins like that. So not only does the spinning of the tool help out, the spinning of the lathe helps out and spins it nice and fast. So it's sanded to the part we need to be putting some sanding sealer on. Then after that we'll put some cut and polish on, just so we get a nice finish. So this is the chestnut sanding sealer. I always put something across the bed, because if this sets on the bed it does make a bit of a mess, and if you see close-ups on some of my photos on the machine, it does have marks from the sanding sealer when I first started using it. Cracking product, but once it dry it just really makes a little bit of a mess. So all I'm doing is just putting on this roughly, then I'll turn the lathe on slowly just to work it through, even slower than that. So turning it down to about 350 RPM, just so we can work the sand sealer into the wood. Right, all this is doing is just drying it off. So this has got like fine particles in it. It's a bit like the Yorkshire grit. I'm just going to work that into wood again, and we'll let that cure, then we'll get the cloth, a coarse cloth, and it'll buff it off. So to finish it off, we're going to finish it off with this wax. So it's a wood wax 22. It's basically a clear finish. They do it in different finishes, so you can get like a stain. I like using the clear one just to show the wood off and the grain. It naturally goes darker anyway when you use different products anyway. So when you put your sand sealer on or your cut and polish, it does naturally go darker. So this has got carnauba wax in it. Obviously you want to get the wood warm, so when you're spinning it, put a little bit of pressure on with your rag, and that's how you're going to get your pop with the wood. You can already see it's going to be giving a nice shine as well. Just keep working this cloth around. I don't want it in one place, because it will cause that much heat, it'll melt the cloth, burn your hands. I do also like sometimes using this carnauba wax. It's a great product. It's homemade, I made it myself following the recipe I found online. So it's a mix of carnauba flakes and beeswax, and if you want a real pop shine, this is it, but it's quite hard. You do really have to work it into the wood in a little bit, because I've used basically the original clear wax, and I've finished it off with this carnauba wax. So when you get some heat in this, you can really smell that beeswax working into it. It just really gives a nice shine, but you do have to work it in, because otherwise it finishes off really patchy. Right, so originally we started off with a piece of wood like this, so it's just a plain piece of wood that I tried to make into a circle badly, and we finished off with a nice piece of wood like this. So a piece like that, it's about creating something. So there's no book out there what you're going to make. I'll come into the shed sometimes and have something in my mind and it doesn't go the way. Thankfully this is the piece that I wanted it to be, but I've come in before and turned something, then before you know it, it's a lot smaller. So when I first started turning, my first ever piece was that. So I think it was a piece of Spieely, and that was one of my first projects that was finished. That's not practicing from zero to finish it. That was my first piece, and that's something I'll always keep to remind myself of how far I've come. That piece there, the piece of wood was quite big. Obviously turning and trying and getting there, you end up losing pieces of wood. So don't let that dishearten you when you are wood turning. You're going to have failures. People only show you the finished product, they don't show you the failures. So I always say to people I know, what see my photos on Instagram or YouTube videos, you see these products but you don't see the thing working up to it, what you failed on. Unfortunately you are going to get some failures. It's all about the tools, the wood. So sometimes I'll come in the shed and I'll start turning, I have a terrible night turning. It's just going to happen sometimes. Sometimes it's not always going to go the way you want it to, but thankfully today it did. Hopefully we'll have more videos like this. So if you're a new wood turner or an experienced turner, or you just enjoy woodworking videos, we'll see you in the next one.